Welcome to the Hope College Athletics Orange and Blue podcast. My name is Alan Babbitt, Sports Information Director at Hope College. We look forward each week in this podcast to bring you interviews with some of our coaches, student athletes, and administrative staff. And especially among these unusual COVID times, it's a chance to, when we're not busy racing around to practice and events, to get to know our coaches and student athletes just a little bit better. Stglad to have with us the men's golf coach, Scott Lokers. Thank you, Scott, for joining us today. Wanted to, start get a little bit of update on your team. Obviously, normally we'd be in the midst of practice and competitions right now and tournaments and gearing up for hopefully a run at an MIAA championship. That's on hold until the spring as we work through the pandemic. Just give us an update on your team. Where do you guys stand as far as a roster and figuring out who's playing and practice? What do you guys, what are you working on this fall?
Yeah, thanks, Alan. Glad to be here. Always fun to talk about Hope College and Hope Golf. So thanks for having me. It's different fall, but I'm thankful that we can form a team and that we can play some golf together within the team. So we have 11 players on our team this fall, and we are really young, which is fun and gives us the challenge and the fun part of trying to grow together. So we have just one senior, Luke Tapany from Minneapolis area, just one junior, Austin Zolman is from Granville. We have 4 sophomores, Seth Almquist from the Minneapolis area as well, Tim Wegman, who went to school in Saline, Charlie Erickson's from the Detroit area, and Jack Crawford is from Indianapolis, Carmel, actually. And then we have 5 freshmen this year. So we have 2 from the Detroit area, Spencer Whittington and Brian Marks, and then 3 freshmen who are local. Tualatai Chamberlain is from Grand Haven, Will Robson from East Grand Rapids, and Logan DeWitt from Holland Christian. So it's a group of fine young men, and I'm enjoying getting to know them. So what we've been doing is we have been practicing most weekdays, and then also Saturdays getting 18-hole rounds in. So we're getting a lot of chances to play and to practice. And starting out, the emphasis was really on competition within the team, trying to form a bit of a baseline. I'm hoping we're going to have tournaments in the spring and opportunity to compete for the chance to go to nationals, Division III national tournament, hoping there will be one this spring. And so trying to get a baseline competition. And now we've been at it a few weeks, and so slowing that down a little bit and still trying to keep some pressure on competitively, but also really trying to help all of us get to know each other and build the culture of this team and make sure we're growing together and starting to pull in the same direction. So that's part of the focus here.
With building a camaraderie with a young group, obviously, I would imagine it's advantage because you got a little bit more time to build that before you get right away into competition, as you will in a, traditional season. What are the things? What do you try to do to build that in a competitive sport like an individual sport like golf, where it's your shot and you don't have an assist to make to a teammate or have to play defense or something like that? How do you build camaraderie for a golf team?
Yeah, I think that really is important. And golf is an individual sport, but we play it as a team. And so the way I think about that, I'm asking all the guys on our team to improve and to be the best they can as individuals. And so when we compete in a normal year, and also so this year, we're competing for some spots as we think about the spring. And everybody on our team wants to go out and shoot the lowest score that day. And we want that. We want guys that are competitive, and that's part of what sport is about, and you get all that. But along with that, we play it as a team. We're trying to help each other get better, and we really care about the success of the team. And by success, I mean in every aspect, not just wins and losses, but in providing the best experience that we can together. So I'm also asking these guys to be the best teammate they can be every day. So golf is a humbling game. And one of the ways I talk about this is, so if we have a member of our team who has a career day one day, and his good friend on the team has a subpar performance. So I mean that in terms of doesn't perform very well that day. I'm going to ask the one who's not performed very well that day to be happy for a teammate who played well. And when those roles are reversed, that it would be, again, a role of encouragement. And so I think that really matters. I learned that from the previous coach, from Coach Evils. Some of his success was around, we do this together. We play as a team. We're playing for each other. At the end of the day, this is for hope. This is for all of us, not just as individuals, but collectively.
As a matter too, with the team, I know every team has to identify leaders, but probably the best teams are the ones where really everyone is a leader, and it may have different roles, but everyone takes a leadership role. So it's not just falling on one or two people.
Right. That is true. And yep. And as you know, anytime you're coaching, so sport is what you're about. And I love golf, and all the guys on our team love golf, but it's about more than the golf. And so the leadership aspect, I'm trying to help them grow as leaders. They're trying to help each other. They help me grow as a leader. And so we're always talking about those kinds of things, working on those kinds of things. And one of the advantages for the fall, so we're disappointed we're not playing outside tournaments. But one of the advantages is we get to do everything together, the entire team. One of the dynamics typically for a golf team is when we go to tournaments, you play 5 players and you count 4 scores. So we do a lot of travel with just 5 or 6 of the guys. It's not like other sports where you bring the whole team and you substitute as the contest goes on. We do a lot of travel with just 5 or 6 guys. And this fall has been different in that way. We are doing everything together every day that we're together. And so I think that is an advantage for us, especially since we are so young. And a big part of this fall is forming a team identity and growing together. The fact that we can do it all together, I think, is helpful for us.
And I know it's challenging for a student athlete in a normal year with classes and social life and athletics and everything as they're trying to figure out what they want to build the foundation of their life. Obviously, we're in unusual times now with the pandemic, and a lot of things are just not as they usually are. For you as a coach, what have you found that are unique challenges this year as you try to help your guys? Because there's got to be, for some of them in particular, maybe all of them, more on their minds than there might usually be. So what have you found, and what are you trying to do to help them? Because I know it's not just about the game of golf, right. For you.
Right. So, yeah, that's true every year. I think this year is different, like you say, and there are more things going on. But in a sense, it's the same process to me. So part of what I enjoy in coaching golf is our team is a smaller team. So we can interact in ways that maybe some other teams cannot, or at least they might have to work harder at it. And so I can connect with every player on our team. I try to do that regularly. Not only, again, we're all together, but also individually. So I'm always going to ask guys on our team, and I'll do this one-on-one. So what are you working on in terms of your golf game? And I want to know that, and I want to be helpful in that. But we also talk about what's going on in the rest of your life. So in terms of school at Hope, and what's going on with your family, are there ways that I can help or at least listen? And then part of our sport. So yep, we're competitive and we work hard, and the nature of our game is we can have conversations about a lot of things as we're working hard on our games. And so these guys are doing that with each other as well. And so it really does give many opportunities to be concerned about what's going on in someone's entire life, not just the golf life. And I would say, especially, again, a bit of gift this fall with 5 freshmen. Freshmen just have a lot going on. We hit the ground running, and even this year, even though we're not playing tournaments, we hit the ground running with a golf team, and they're just hit with a lot of things all at once. And so we talk a lot about taking care of yourself in the classroom, taking care of yourself physically, paying attention to the priorities, all of those kinds of things.
And for you, being a coach is a lot like your other job, which is being a pastor, and in some ways there's a lot of similarities, I would imagine, between the two. Just, I guess we'll start with just talk about your, how long you've been in ministry and where that started for you.
Sure. So I've been at the ministry side of things for over 30 years, and was a local church pastor for most of that, and served 3 different congregations and experienced all the joys and challenges that go with that. I've loved that part of my life, and my wife Susan and I have done so much of that together. She's been just so helpful in all of that. So all that goes with that. The last about 3 years now, I've been working for our denomination, for the Reformed Church in America, and a regional body within that denomination. So I'm not serving a congregation anymore. I'm doing some consulting. I'm leading some teams. And actually, there is an amazing amount of overlap in the 2 jobs. So the context is somewhat different. But, as a coach, so golf is the subject matter, but it's really a vehicle for investing in the lives of others. And same thing in terms of pastor, and especially my role now with the regional synod. My work is really trying to empower others, to invest in others, to help the people I work with, and this would be true of the guys on our team, to live into their full potential. I believe that's God-given, and so I want them to experience all that they can and as much joy, and deal with the challenges head on. And it isn't about me, both jobs. It isn't about me. It's really about trying to empower others, pour into others. I've had lots of people who have done that to me for a lot of years. And so part of the joy of this is being able to try and do that for others. And that's really been fun.
Was something, being in the ministry, something you knew right away when you were young you wanted to do, or did you get into adulthood and find it? I know some of the pastors I've met and had in my life, there's always seemed to be different stories of different ways they found, their calling to ministry. How did that come about for you?
Yeah, so I went to Hope 100 years ago, and I was a math major and a business minor, and in secondary education. And I came from a family of educators, and I did teach for 2 years, but had quite a struggle actually with call to ministry that went on for a couple of years, and finally decided that's what I needed to do, go to seminary. So after 2 years of teaching, I taught at Chicago Christian High, southwest suburbs of Chicago. Then Susan and I came back to Holland. I went to Western Seminary. And so it was a process. It wasn't I didn't grow up thinking, oh, I want to be a pastor. It was more I felt called to be a pastor. In fact, tried to avoid it for a while and just decided I couldn't avoid it.
The game of golf obviously has been a big part of your life. When did you first start playing the game?
So I grew up playing golf. It's really a passion of my dad. My dad is now almost 102 years old, and this was our thing. So my dad and then my older brother Ray and I played a lot of golf, and it was just really something I'm thankful for. It was a gift to me. So a lot of time with my dad and my brother, and then other people as well, but around golf. And we all love golf, and it gave us a common passion, and we're just always working at the game. My dad was a pretty good player and taught me the game. And so that's really where it came from. And I love so many things about golf. I love being outside. I love it that it's a game of honor and character. No other game I know of, you call your own penalties. Really, you are in charge of your own score. There are checks on that, but still, it's different that way. So and you never master it. You know, you're always working at it.
Yeah.
And trying. So Dad isn't doing it this year, but last year, at 101 years old, he'd still go to the range and hit some golf balls, and we could
Amazing.
do that together. And there are not many games I know that you can still be having fun playing the game with your dad who's 100 years old. So it was just our thing growing up, and then I was fortunate to be able to play golf at Hope as well, high school, and then at Hope. And I still love to play competitively, and part of that is I love to compete, but part of that is it helps me as a coach, I think. It reminds me there's a big difference in a competitive round, playing competitively, or just going out with your buddies and playing a round of golf. And so I like to stay at it for that reason too. It reminds me competitive golf is a hard thing, and it reminds me what our players are going through every day.
Your dad, I've had the fortunate to write a little bit about him, and as just an incredible man, and then incredible accomplished athlete on top of that. Is there times you just, as you've watched your dad, grow in these years, or you just shake your head, or do you stop being surprised what he's had been able to do his whole life and do it with such joy? That was the other part with your father. It was just pure joy. And it's just been amazing to get to know and to observe him a little bit.
Yeah. So he's my dad, and I probably for too much of my life took a lot of that for granted. That's just the way, Dad is, the way Dad was. We just did things, and he loves sports. He loves to be active, and so we just did all kinds of sports. That's good. But there are moments, and especially when others will comment. So the kind words you just said, and others will say certain things like that. For me, some of the big ahas and really fun, there's a thing called the Senior Olympics. And if you are 50 years or older, you can compete. And there are national games that are held every other year. And my dad has done that for a lot of years. And once I turned 50, I started doing it with my dad. And so to travel to different places, so a national tournament is held all different places. But Dad developed a reputation there that as he got older and older and finally hit the 100-year mark, that people just knew who he was and would see him every time we'd go to that. And I would just sort of laugh and take that all in and realize, there are not many people who have been able to do that kind of thing in their lives. And so Dad knows that he's been blessed to do that. He's thankful for that. I'm certainly thankful to be able to have been the recipient. I talked about part of my work is pouring into other people. Well, the people who poured into my life, certainly one of the people at the earliest moments is my dad, obviously. And so I'm the beneficiary of that. And it's really, really been fun. And I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, I would encourage anyone listening, Google Ray Lokers, Raylokers. You will find some stories. I just popped it up myself, and it's a story from the Sentinel when he was 99 doing his bowling and golfing and all that. So it's a fun thing to watch, and certainly spend some time researching him a little bit. He's been a treasure. And so what are you going to be doing at 100? Have you got your kind of itinerary, Scott, or?
Boy, I'm trying to take care of today.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But I know he certainly is an inspiration.
In your time with golf here at Hope, tell us that story. How did you get involved with coaching? I know you started as an assistant coach under Bob Ebels, who, obviously, as we know, built a tremendous program, and then you have been the head coach the past few seasons. Just how did you get involved with coming back and coaching here for the Flying Dutchmen?
So this really is one of the unexpected joys of my life. I love Hope, and I love Hope Golf. Was never on my radar till 10 years ago. And I was playing golf with Coach Ebels through a mutual friend. We played a few times that summer. And we got to the end of the summer, and we were headed in for lunch after a round of golf. And he said to me, Scott, he said, what do you think about helping me with the Hope team? I said, what? And he said, what do you think about helping me with the Hope team? I said, you're kidding. He said, no. And I was a pastor at the time at Overijssel Reformed Church. And like I said, it was never on my radar. And the only thing I can think of is I don't know how those two worlds would ever fit together. In fact, that's what I said to Bob. I said, I don't see any way that my schedule would allow me to do that. So I got home and I just mentioned it to my wife that Bob had asked me about helping him with the team. And she just said right away, she said, you'd have great fun at that. She said, I could see you doing that. And I mentioned it. We have two daughters. I mentioned it to our two daughters. One of them played golf for Hope. And each of them said, oh, Dad, you'd have fun with that. And I could really see you doing that. And I got thinking maybe I responded a little too hastily. So I called Bob back and I just said, what would that look like? So that started a conversation. But then I needed to share it with our congregation, with the leaders of our congregation, because I thought, well, there are a lot of things I do. I don't ask their permission, but this seemed like big enough I should. And I was quite amazed, actually. They did not bat an eye. I thought what I was going to hear is that's not what we're paying you to do. And they did not bat an eye. And they said, oh, yeah, that seems to fit with who you are as a person and what you love to do. And they began to see it really as part of ministry. And so that opened the door. And for 6 or 7 years, I had the privilege to be Bob's assistant, and really a wonderful experience because I had a chance to watch and learn. I'd coached before, actually. I taught before I went to seminary. I was a basketball coach and a golf coach, actually. So I had some coaching experience, but it had been a lot years before, and so I had a chance to watch and learn. And then when Bob retired, then they asked if I'd take it on, and it really has been so much fun. Again, I love Hope. I love golf, and Hope student athletes are just the best, I think. I learn every day, and so one of the unexpected joys of my life.
Funny how that works sometimes, isn't it? It's just amazing if we just get out of the way and let God's plan just kind of be. It can work out a lot of times too. So, well, good. Well, thank you for joining me today, Scott, on the Hope Athletics Orange and Blue podcast. Looking forward to watching your guys. It's been different for me too without games. I'm kind of like itching, and I have something to do on a Saturday other than. But we'll get here soon, and we appreciate your positive support and helping them out. We'll look forward to seeing you, in competition soon.
Good, Alan. Thank you. Thanks for your work.
Appreciate it. Oh, hold on a second. Don't want to hit that button.